Okay, so when you think of Norway, you probably picture these stunning coastlines, rugged mountains. But there's another story there, one that's we're going to explore how this pretty small nation managed to turn its natural resources into a legacy of unbelievable. It's a story all about foresight, discipline, and one game-changing discovery deep under the sea. This leads us to the big question, right? How on earth did a country with a population smaller than many major cities build a savings account worth almost $2 trillion? Seriously, oil and money. It's one of the most remarkable economic journeys in modern history, and we're about to break down exactly how they pulled it off.
To really get what makes Norway tick today, we've got to go back in time. Way before anyone was talking about oil, the country's wealth came from something much more traditional. Its forests, its streams, and of course.
So back in the 1800s, Norway's economy was all about its geography. I mean, with a massive coastline, it makes sense that they were all about fishing and shipping timber, mostly over to the UK. And here's a key fact, only about any good for farming. So out of sheer necessity, they had to build this huge merchant fleet to trade for the food they couldn't grow. It was a tough, simple way of life, with almost everyone living out in the countryside. Now, the turn of the 20th century, period. Economic depression hit, and a lot of Norwegians left the country. But, sometimes innovation comes from tough times. In the 1890s, they started figuring out how to use their countless waterfalls to power. And that sparked a whole new industrial age for them. After getting full independence, they had to get through the Great Depression and then rebuild after World War II. It was this history of hardship that really forged the model, that idea of a strong social safety net. And then, everything changed. In the late 1960s, deep beneath the stormy, rough waters of the North Sea, they found something that would completely rewrite. Yep, 1969. That's when the drills hit, and boy did they hit big. They found the Ekofisk, this colossal discovery, one of the biggest in the world. This wasn't just a bit of good luck, it was a nation-altering event. It was both a massive opportunity and, as they'd soon realize, a really big test. History is full of these sad stories, right? A country strikes it rich with oil or diamonds, and then it all falls apart. Corruption, instability, it's called the resource. Norway was determined to avoid that trap. They wanted to write a totally different story.
Okay, to get why Norway's strategy was so brilliant, you have to understand this one key idea: Dutch disease. Here's the gist. You find a ton of oil. Foreign countries rush in with their money to buy it. This makes your own currency super good, right? Well, it's not. Suddenly, all your other exports, like manufactured goods or fish, become way too expensive for anyone else to buy. Your traditional industries just die. Norway knew this was the #1 danger they had to avoid.
And this is where you see the huge difference in their thinking. The typical path is to spend that new money as fast as it comes in. What did Norway do? Act opposite. Instead of pumping all that cash into their own economy, they made this incredibly counterintuitive choice. They decided to invest every single penny of the profits out. It was a masterstroke that protected their other industries and showed just how focused they were on the long game.
So this long-term thinking led them to create something the world had never really seen before. They didn't just build the biggest national savings account on Earth. In 1990, they made it official. They created what everyone now just calls the oil fund. And the idea behind it was just genius. 2 main jobs. First, protect their economy from the wild swings of oil prices. And second, take a resource that would eventually run out and turn it into a source of financial wealth that would last forever. And the result of all that discipline, just look at the number. It's staggering. We're talking about $1.9 trillion US. It's a sum of money that's almost hard to wrap your head around. And on a global scale. The fund owns about 1.5% of every single publicly traded company in the world. So that phone in your pocket, the car you drink, chances are the people of Norway own a tiny piece of the company that made it. It's the ultimate don't put all your eggs in one basket strategy. So what does this actually mean, Norway? Well, if you were to divide it all up, it comes out to something like $340,000 for every single man, woman, and child. A number on a page, that is an unbelievable financial safety net for an entire society. But, and this is probably the most important part of the whole thing, there's a golden rule. The government is forbidden from spending more than 3% of the fund's value each year. Why? Because that's about what they expect the fund to earn in the long run. It's basically that ensures the money will still be there for their great-great-grandchildren.
It's pure, legally enforced discipline. Okay, so all this financial discipline brings us to modern-day Norway and to a really fascinating situation we're calling the green paradox.
See, when you look at Norway itself, it's pretty much a green energy paradise. Thanks to all those mountains and waterfalls, almost all of their electricity comes from renewable hydropower. I mean, it is one of the cleanest energy systems on the entire planet.
But, and this is the paradox, the country's whole economy is funded by exporting massive amounts of oil and gas to the rest of the world. In fact, it's now Europe's single biggest supplier of natural gas. So you've got this paid for by selling fossil fuels abroad.
And if you want to see this paradox in action, just look at their cars. It's incredible. Over 90% of Norway are electric. They are literally using oil money to fund their own transition away from oil. It's a super pragmatic and very well-funded approach to going green.
After all this, what are the big takeaways? What are the crucial lessons from Norway's incredible journey from fjords to fortune?
It four-step formula. 1, they made sure the wealth was publicly owned, so it benefited everyone. 2, they taxed the heck out of those oil profits, the nation. 3, the genius move, investing it all abroad for the future. And 4, they only use the small, sustainable returns to support their society. It's just a manual stewardship.
In the end, Norway's story really teaches us the difference between just being rich for a moment and building true, lasting wealth. They took a be gone and turned it into a legacy that seems like it'll last forever. And it leaves you with a really powerful thought, doesn't it? Maybe a nation's greatest strength isn't just finding a fortune, but having the collective discipline to save it.